that wasn't a Santa Fe thing. That was just a Sarah thing. Oh, we're preparing you for UF. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. Today I am sharing with you guys the difference between UF and Santa Fe, and I want to kind of share my experience as well as talk about some of the key differences between the two colleges, because if you didn't know, I'm actually a graduate of both Santa Fe and UF. So I don't think this video has ever been done before, and I really kind of want to compare my experience, the different GPA things going on, and student life, as well as really anything else. And as always, if you have any questions about Santa Fe or UF, please comment them down below. I'll be happy to answer the best I can. I am now a graduate of UF, so it's pretty surreal, and I'm still reeling from the whole graduation thing. It's pretty interesting. I'm sharing my experience at UF, comparing community college and university, and talking about the 60% transfer rate as well as my overall thoughts. So if you're someone who was either A, accepted to UF and wants to take classes at Santa Fe, this video is for you. If you're someone who was not accepted to UF but wants to transfer into UF, this video is also for you. And if you're someone who is a high school student who is considering attending Santa Fe for dual enrollment and then transferring to UF, this video is also for you. And also, if you're just looking for the general comparison between the two colleges in Gainesville, well, there's more than two colleges in Gainesville, but it's the two major colleges in Gainesville, then this video is also for you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so let's start with my experience. So I actually did 2 years of dual enrollment classes, and dual enrollment is not really any different than regular college classes. Basically, it was high school students mixed in with 18-year-olds. So I did 90% of my gen ed requirements through Santa Fe, and some of those included English Comp 1, college algebra, statistics. Overall, my experience was really positive with Santa Fe. I attended the satellite campus, so it was in Keystone Heights, Florida, and it was so close to home, very easy drive, nice campus, plenty of parking. I would say it was a 95% positive experience. I only made 1 B while I was at Santa Fe. 1, and that was in college algebra. The only thing I really didn't like about Santa Fe was the night classes, and that wasn't a Santa Fe thing. That was just a Sarah thing. So I was not a fan of night classes at all. I remember the 3 classes that I had that were night classes, and that was American Government, Movies, Narrative Art, and Statistics. Although I did make an A in each of those, so the night classes didn't really hinder my performance. It was just maybe going home, staying up late, going home and having to prepare for exams in those classes was really difficult. So now let's move on to community college versus university and kind of the differences. So the first difference that I found was class size. Classes are a lot smaller in community college overall, but upper level classes, and when I say upper level, I mean 3,000 and 4,000 level classes are much smaller at UF as well. It's closer to the size of classes at Santa Fe. So for example, in my English Comp class at Santa Fe, which is ENC 1101, there was maybe 10 to 30 students in that class. Whereas at UF, there's 100 to 300 students, plus a TA section where there's only 10 to 30 students. So basically, even though at UF your class sizes are bigger, you do have those additional TA sections where you have that kind of one-on-one with the TA and possibly the professor if needed to get that kind of experience that you would get at Santa Fe. Next, let's compare campus size. So overall, I would say that Santa Fe is smaller than UF. North Campus though, which is the main campus, I think it's actually called the Northwest Campus, is huge. That's like their main campus. That's where everything Santa Fe is. Definitely a larger campus for a community college for sure, but overall pretty great. UF's campus is large, but it does feel smaller once you get acquainted. Like once you've been there, I feel like after the first like 3 months, I was finally at a place where I was like, okay, this campus doesn't feel that big. You know, I've been around the different places, and by the 4 years I had completed at UF, I was pretty acquainted with campus, and I was like, this isn't that big of a campus. Like, you know, it doesn't feel too big. Now let's talk grading scale. This one really is thorn in my side, but it is what it is. So at Santa Fe, you know, a 90 is an A, and that's across the board in the grading scale. Now, there are some professors who will, adjust the grading scale to their liking. And I don't know what the rule on that is, but I've had some professors make it where a 91's an A and a 92's an A or something like that. And they're like, oh, we're preparing you for UF, whatever. But the standard grading scale at Santa Fe is a 90's an A, 80's a B, and so on and so forth. A 90 being an A calculates as a 4.0 in your GPA. But at UF, a 93 is considered an A, and it has to be an A+. If you make a 92 or a 90 to 92, it's an A-. And you know what an A- calculates as into your GPA? A 3.63. Moving on to professors. So at UF, in Santa Fe, you actually have some of the same professors that teach at UF teaching at Santa Fe, which is really cool. Now, from the professor standpoint, there are different education requirements to teach at community college versus a university. And for a university, there's usually at least a master's or a PhD required. That's the requirement there. Whereas at Santa Fe, it's not necessarily required that you have a PhD. You can teach with a bachelor's degree. And I know there are some professors who have like an MBA or something like that. Now let's talk campus life. So campus life is honestly pretty intertwined between UF and Santa Fe. They are both in Gainesville. I will say satellite campuses, the campus life is a bit different because I think it's more geared toward students who live in those areas who are trying to go to school. There's really a lot of intersection between the two campuses. Off the top of my brain, I can count that you can be in a sorority and fraternity through UF and be a Santa Fe student. You also can be a part of the student newspaper and the marching band. I think there are a few more. So I would say campus life is great on both campuses. Since you are in Gainesville with Santa Fe, you can definitely get involved at UF. Santa Fe has a lot more apartments that are considered on campus, whereas UF, is a very dorm-centric campus, and there's more dorms than there are apartments on campus. Now, there are apartments nearby and, basically a little bit off campus, but most of the housing is dorms. Now let's talk about UF to Santa Fe's 60% transfer rate. So there is a website that you can go to find more information about this, but it's santafecollege.edu/gators. And basically, if you attend Santa Fe and get your associate's degree, your classes do transfer over to fulfill the degree audit at UF. So they actually have an option in the degree audit for you to select which university you want to transfer to in Florida, and then it compares what you need based on that, which is really helpful. And actually, UF admits more students from Santa Fe than any other state college in Florida. Like I said, they have a 60% transfer rate. Santa Fe is also the #1 community college in the nation. I think it was in 2015 when I was here. Anyway, #1 community college in the nation, which is pretty good because UF is top 5, so there's that, although we are tied for top 5, so that's that. And then as far as the transferring, I know plenty of others who have transferred from other community colleges to UF, and the main thing is just having that high GPA, like 3.5 or better, and also completing those prereqs, because you have those prereqs done. It's not giving UF a reason to say, oh, well, they're not done with their prereqs, let's reject them. It's basically saying, okay, you completed all the requirements, you're ready to be a Gator. So it works a little bit better when you do have the prereqs completed to be able to do that. Okay, and then finally, my overall final thoughts. For students in high school, take advantage of the dual enrollment program. Seriously. Do it if you can, because it not only will save a ton of money and get you through your prereqs, it's so much easier to do it through Santa Fe than it is through a university level, I will say. For students who have graduated high school and are kind of considering college, you really cannot go wrong with Santa Fe. Like, you cannot go wrong with Santa Fe. Santa Fe is a great college. I highly recommend it. I mean, 10 out of 10, seriously. Santa Fe is a great school. UF is a great school. I highly recommend both. Obviously, I am a graduate of both, so maybe I'm a little biased. Overall, you can't go wrong with Santa Fe. You cannot go wrong with UF. And really, if you're really trying to transfer to UF, you can definitely do your community college wherever you are and then transfer to UF as well. It is easier for in-state students than it is for out-of-state students, I believe, but it's definitely works hand in hand if you want to go to community college first and then transfer to UF. I did that, and I will say I think I was probably more prepared for UF because I did community college first. overall, I mean, I will say my first semester at UF was kind of a wake-up call, but it was also a wake-up call in the sense that I changed my major at UF. So, you know, there's that. So with that being said, that wraps up today's video. I hope you found this informative, helpful. Drop any questions you may have about Santa Fe and UF below, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye!